Hi guys, so I'm now at BMW Malaysia headquarters Cyberjaya, and we are here to pick up a couple of minis. Beng is there in the Clubman, so you can watch a video, and I am here getting the Countryman plug-in hybrid. So let's get in. So get inside, start the car. I like this toggle style switches. So basically, right, the cool thing is you can flick it up or press it down. It's the same. This being a PHEV, you don't hear the firing of the engine. What you see is this gauge here goes from off to ready. Now let me just demonstrate that again. Alright, so this shows that the car is ready to go. This is still a pure analog instrument cluster. The fuel gauge here is, well, LED lights and just a traditional speedometer. Just a small, simple multi-info display, which you cycle through by pressing this button here. And here you can see, here's the infotainment system. I'm going to get ready to drive off. I am just going to look for my favorite radio stations. Yes. And you know the cool thing, these numbers, right, don't necessarily have to be your radio favorites. It can be used to represent anything. So let's say, like, for example, you can set your home address. This one, I randomly choose one place, house number. So what I can do is I can set this. So I can press 6. But it brings you to whatever infotainment feature that you have. These toggle switches, parking sensors, this allow you to toggle the e-drive mode. There seems to be a sort of directional control to it. So I press down, okay, it goes to safe. I press up, it goes to auto e-drive or max e-drive. Yeah, and I'm going to just leave it at auto. Here's the drive mode control. Here's the stability control. You've got a USB port here, which I've already connected to my phone, and 12-volt socket here. This compartment is rubberized, and it's just nice for me to slot my phone in. Okay, so all set up. It's time to drive. So just now I was having a conversation with my colleague Fen, right? And there's something about the MINI brand in which its appeal is unmatched in anywhere in the industry, not even by BMW themselves. It's on one hand a very style-driven brand, okay? There's a bit of a hipster nature to it, but at the same time, it is also a brand that appeals very much to enthusiasts, and it is very gender neutral in its appeal. So you can be male, female, and you won't look out of place in the car. The only kind of demographic perhaps that do not suit a MINI would maybe be, damn, I can't think of any. You can be young, you can be old, a MINI still works. So maybe you may want to argue that MINI is not that suited for family use. Maybe true when BMW first revived the brand, but the current generation Minis, the F generation Minis, firstly, they are so much more comfortable and refined than the first two generations. And the new Countryman and the new Clubman, alright, they are properly spacious and practical vehicles, alright, quite well packaged, that still in a way fit within a relatively small footprint. And boy, man, this PHEV is fast, man. It's fast. Woo. If your kids are late for school, this is not a bad car to be in. Okay, so now I am back home with the Countryman. Oh well, rather back in my mother's home. And I just want to show you something. So you see here by the side, okay, this panel. I want to draw your attention to this panel. So this is the symbol that MINI uses to signify their electrified vehicles. Okay, this you can see here. This is the E, letter E, and this represents the visual image of a plug. Now we come over to this side, to the left side of the car. It's almost the same but slightly different. You see this whole black piece here is thicker, and there's this little dash here which when you press it opens up to show you, to reveal to you the charging port, which is a very clever piece of design. And in this visual unit as well, there is a side signal light as well. So I applaud MINI for taking the effort to put a design feature around this admittedly common thing. Many cars put their charging port here. Okay, many PHEVs and electric vehicles put their charging port here. MINI is the only one we have seen thus far to make the effort to design this ornamental piece here so that, you know, it doesn't look like just another flap here on the body. So we come to the back. You can see here this E logo again, and we've got, for the Cooper S, a powered tailgate. All right, and so the height of the Cooper S, you can see here, right? This is a nice height for you to, let's say like you're on a picnic by the beach side. This is a very good height for you to sit down, okay, and enjoy a drink with your loved one, with your family. But as you can see here, the car is a bit dirty out here, so this then comes in very, very handy. So you can sit here, all right, and it's a nice cushion material as well, so it's very comfy, very nice. You can sit here for I think a good hour or two, no problem. And once you're done, all right, one hand action, lift, and it goes. Okay, so very, very clever design. And one more thing I discovered and I really appreciate as a family man, you get ISOFIX mounts here at the front. It is of course safest to put your kids at the back seat, but there may be circumstances where you may need to put your kids in front. Okay, it's good to have that option there. The only thing to take note of, there is no tether here, so if you want to install an ISOFIX child seat here, it must be the one with the leg in front, like this one. Okay, and of course remember, if you want to put your kids in the child seat, be sure to deactivate the airbag. Okay, back to my own home. So first order of business is to get charging cable out. So got the car plugged in. It even shows you, right, the meanings behind the light. So if this ring here shows red, it means it's not charging. Yellow means charging is in progress. Then of course if it's green, means it's all charged up. Okay, so over here, this is the charging box, and you can hear as well the fan is running, presumably to keep things cool. And here you can see this these are the indicators here. And this is good because this is useful, because this allows you, in case you are worried that of leaving it on the floor where, you know, cats or whatever can come and touch out this, right? You can hang this up on the wall. Usually I have these two hooks here, So where possible, if I have a plug-in hybrid test car, I always hang the charging box up here. Okay, now these two tongs of water, you understand if you're staying in Selangor lah. So you have this charged, and go back inside the car. So you can see here on the display, it shows you the charging is in progress, and this is the estimated time in which you will complete the charging of the car. You know, once upon a time, right, I used to think that life with a PHEV or an electric vehicle, every day when you come back home, first thing you have to do, you have to plug your cable to charge the car. I used to think that is quite a troublesome thing, but if you think of it, right, it's no different from every day now you have to charge your phones or your laptops or any of your other mobile devices. Because you see, your phone, okay, most of our phones these days can't go more than a full day without charging anyways. But that being said, I'm of course speaking from the perspective of someone staying in a landed property. But I think the future planning lesson for us here is this: shifting into a landed house, be sure to have a plug point wired to your car porch. And not only that, be sure to make sure it's a heavy duty wiring capable of taking high current, high ampere current. Now, if you are staying in an apartment, of course everything is at the mercy of your management, but that means the onus is therefore on the developers and the building management to start looking into solutions for the future of electric vehicle motoring, right? For charging solutions for EVs and plug-in EVs. Right now, I'm just about to reach my mother's house from my home. The whole journey, I have not called upon the power of the engine, and this has really been a bit of my CMCO routine. Okay, because working from one of the biggest challenges of working from home is that if you are single, it's okay. If you are married without kids, it's still okay, because all my career, all my working life, I have been working from home has been a very normal thing for me. In fact, I appreciate the added productivity that it gives me, because I don't have to be caught in traffic jams. I can go to office when it's not rush hours. So that freedom is something that I've always appreciated. And there are days when I just stay at home and work from home because it's just more productive to do so. But having kids in my life now completely changed that dynamic, because I can be in the middle of editing a video or writing an article, but suddenly, right, this fella will suddenly cry for mom. The other one is crying because she's got poo in her diapers. Now with CMCO, right, and now she can't go to her daycare. What I have been doing recently, whenever I need extra time to work, I will just go with her to my parents' house. That way my wife can focus her energy to take care of the younger child, whereas she can be here playing with her grandparents, and I will be I have that precious moment of alone time to get my work sorted. And this kind of commute would have been so great if actually I had one of these as my daily, because all I need to do is just commute back and forth between my house and my mother's house purely on electric power. Okay, so it's the evening, almost home, and yeah, so basically today I was actually able to spend much of the day in all electric mode, except for this the engine actually just fired up for the first time today, which means that I actually covered quite a good distance, all right, purely on electric power. And this was despite me leaving the electronics on its own devices. It means that I left it to the car to decide whether to keep me in electric power or engage the engine. And I have to say that it is actually, the throttle response actually makes it quite easy for me to tell the car whether to engage the engine or not. Basically just maintain very gentle throttle pressure. Okay, so as you guys know, I have a preference to reverse park my cars at home. And the funny thing is, none of my current cars have a reverse camera. The only car I had with a reverse camera, I made the decision to sell it. Every time when I get a test car with a reverse camera, I'm especially appreciative of it. And I'm also very appreciative of the reverse cameras that come in BMW Group test cars, because they offer fantastic clarity. Okay, and the way, and this is these squares, all right, they just serve to highlight to you all the potential hazards. And honestly, as a family man, all right, when you have kids anytime that may just decide to run around your car porch, this is a very, very useful tool. And I'm honestly exploring options, reverse camera options in the market for this guy. Okay, let's go out for a late night kai. So guys, check this out. Check this trim piece out. The ambient lighting is built into the trim insert, so this is really cool. Okay, so interesting traffic light distraction. This button up here is where you toggle the different you call it ambient lighting colors. So red, yeah, so there was green, yellow, orange, red, proper red, purple, blues, greens and all. So well, it's not really a wide palette of colors, but there is some variety to suit your mood. Okay, so now I'm on the LDP, and quite interestingly enough, I'm cruising along. All right, I've maintained consistent throttle pressure, but the car somehow just registered the fact that, based on, you know, the speed profile, the fact that I was maintaining continuous velocity, maybe even drawing inputs from the GPS, concluded that I am on the highway, and therefore brought the combustion engine up. So you see, the thing with hybrids or plug-in hybrids is this: the electric motor is fantastic for town use, but when you're trying to go on sustained high-speed cruising, that is when you need to bring back your combustion engine, because the funny thing is this: in terms of power consumption, electric motors are more efficient in stop-go situations, because as you stop and you go, your power curve goes down, goes up and down accordingly. But combustion engines, on the other hand, thrive when you are continuously when you are moving at a steady pace, whereas an electric motor is continuously depleting its power at a cruise. So the most energy effective way of harnessing your plug-in hybrid is to maximize use of the electric motor in town driving, and make more use of the combustion engine when you are on the highway. You play to the strengths of both motors at the right time. Now, one thing I have to really give Mini credit for is the seamless way which the engine cuts in and out of operation. Now, with my Waja and my E39, usually when I reverse park, I go as far back as close to the wall as possible. But ever since buying the S-Max, that I cannot practice that with S-Max because I have to take into account the opening, okay, the opening pathway of the hatch, of the rear hatch. So this is something that if you are buying an MPV, SUV, or a hatchback, you have to take note of. So here with the Countryman, the opening path of the rear door is such that you only need actually about 1 foot of space behind the car. And since the hatch is already open, let me just show you here, with the seats folded down, you've got more than 1,000 liters of boot space. Seats up this area, you still get 400, which is very generous. Okay, good enough this is definitely good enough space for a pram, for 2 suitcases, maybe a golf bag at a squeeze. Definitely more than enough for accessories. And one more thing to show you, the charging cable provided is long enough if you have a preference to park in reverse. Okay, so I'm now here in Klang. I'm supposed to meet Bobby and Fan for breakfast. Hello, Fan. I saw your car and Bobby's car lah, but which shop are you guys at?
The corner shop. Wait, oh, I saw your Mini already. It's just on your left.
Oh, okay. I see you there.
It's just on your left,
all
the
right.
corner lot.
Okay, see you. Bye-bye. Hey, you all eat already?
Eating lor. Second round lor.
First round. Alright, so I just finished meeting with Symphony Auto Care. That's a clubman that Bobby brought along. I'll be doing a separate video on this car later. You can also check out Bobby's channel, Bing's channel, for their videos with this car. That's the Countryman I'm driving. So after this, I'm moving on to another agenda.
Instagram, we
Okay, going home now. I'm supposed to pick up some parts for the E39, but the seller was not in, so gonna have to do it another day. So just now I was talking with Bobby, and he was saying that yesterday when he told his wife that they were having the clubman for a day, and there was a sparkle in her eyes. So you see, Bobby and Cass, they were once upon a time owners of the clubman, and their memories of the clubman were so pleasant that, you know, that Mini now sort of occupies a special place in their heart. It evokes a sense of joy in them whenever they think of the brand, whenever they see a Mini or be in a Mini. It equates to happiness for them. And that got me thinking to the underlying appeal of Mini. Mini is a brand that brings joy to you, whoever you are. This is a brand that, you know, that whenever you are around one, or better still, whenever you're driving one, it gives you a feeling of happiness. You know, it's the way, I think it's the way how Mini, when they communicate, when they present themselves, it's how they don't take themselves too seriously. They talk more like a friend to you rather than with the formality of a corporate suit. There is a certain down-to-earth nature to it that whether or not you are a fan of that brand, it is very difficult for you to find reasons to actively dislike it. And such is the appeal that MINI managed to build into this, into its brand identity, that its appeal transcends gender, transcends age, transcends race, and any other demographic factors that you can think of. Alright, just picked up some parts. This is Abang Lajiv. He's quite well established in the E39 community. He's a carrier of, he's a supplier of used E39 parts. So what am I bringing? That's for another video. So thank you, Countryman. But I'll just give you guys a sneak peek. That's what I'm getting.